Hey there, welcome back to QuickBooks Desktop 2022. My name is Cindy and we are all the way down now to Module 4 and we're talking in this video, which is number 14, about how to create statements in QuickBooks. A statement is basically a history of what happened that month that you can send out to your customers. Usually you send statements at the end of the month. You do not have to send statements, but it's really a great way to gently remind your customers if they owe you money that they need to pay. Let's go ahead and flip over to QuickBooks and I'll show you how to create those statements. To get started creating statements for your customers, head over to your home screen and click on the icon that says Statements. The first thing you need to let QuickBooks know is, what is your statement date? Typically, statements are sent the end of the month. I'm going to set this for December 31st, and the statement period would be that same month, the beginning of the month through the end of the month. But you can also choose whatever date range you would like. Notice also, as far as dates are concerned, that you might choose this option here to just include all the open transactions as of that statement date, and you will have an option to include any transactions over, in this case, 30 days past due, and you can see you can change that. It will default to sending statements to all of your customers, but notice you could choose multiple. If you choose multiple customers, then you click this Choose button and you just click on the customers you'd like to send a statement to. If you're wanting to send a statement to one customer, choose the One Customer option, and then you can choose that customer from the drop-down list. You can also choose to send statements to customers of a particular type that you might have set up, or only ones that have a preferred send method. Maybe they like their statements mailed or emailed. When you're through, you can always preview what your statement looks like at this point. I'm going to hit the preview option. And here's what your statements look like. I'll just click in the middle to zoom in. You'll see it says statement right up at the top. It has your company name and address, and then of course the customer's name and address here. And notice at the bottom it has the balance forward from the previous month, and then any transactions that occurred that month will show up on this statement, whether it's an invoice, a payment. At the bottom, you're actually going to see, for each of these categories, the amount that's due. I'm going to hit close at the top and show you some other options you have for statements over on the right. You do have template options you can change for your statements. We'll cover that in a later module. But notice some of the check boxes here. You might not want to see any of the details, or you might want to show them. You can check or uncheck that option. You can choose to print statements by their billing address zip code. This would actually sort them numerically by zip code. It's going to print the due date automatically. If you don't want it to do that, just uncheck that option. You might choose to not send statements to your customers who don't owe you money. That would be this option here. Or if they owe you less than, let's just say $5, maybe you don't want to send a statement. You could actually check the box and choose that amount there. If they didn't have any activity, you might not want to send them a statement, or if they're an inactive customer, you might not want to send a statement. If you're assessing finance charges, you do have the ability to click here and set all those options up for the finance charges. After you've previewed this, you can print these if you'd like and send them through the mail, or if you'd like to email them, you can do that as well. There is an option now also to automate sending your statements. This way you don't have to remember to manually go in and do this every single month. Let's go ahead and click on Go to Payment Reminders. Now that you're in the Payment Reminders window, the first thing you'll want to do is create a schedule for these statements. Up here at the top, there's a drop down and you'll choose Statement from the list. The next thing you want to do is tell QuickBooks to send reminders to whichever customer group you have set up. If you do not have a customer group set up, you can choose Add New from here and create one. But we'll just choose Commercial Customers for now. Once you have your customer group set up, you'll want to click on Add Reminder and then fill in some of these options. The first thing it asks you is, what is the statement date you'd like to have on your statements? So you can set it for a particular date. You can say every week, every month, every quarter. We'll just go ahead and set this for the first of every month. The statement period, let's go ahead and include the previous month. If you're setting this for the first, then you'll want to include the previous month on your statement. Notice you could also generate a statement for any of these transactions that are open or overdue. You just choose whichever option you want. I'm going to go back and say statement period for the previous month. The next thing it asks you is which invoice details do you want to include? Notice you can include all the details from each of the transactions. You can include a memo if you'd like and a due date. I'll just go ahead and choose a couple of these. The next thing QuickBooks asks is how would you want your statements to look? If you've chosen different statement templates, you can choose them from the list here. Notice you can also go ahead from here and customize one. And we're going to talk about customizing in a later module. The next thing is the email template. If you've got some set up, you'll see them on the list. If not, you can go ahead and edit or create one from here. And the last thing QuickBooks wants to know is if you want to separate your statements by each job that you've done for your customer. Once you've chosen your options, go ahead and click on OK. And now the statement reminders are set up, and every month on the 1st, it will send those out automatically for you. That's really all there is to creating statements for your customers. Let's go ahead now and move over to video number 15, and I'll show you how to use the income tracker in QuickBooks.